All right, welcome to the video, guys. I am just going to be talking about the Xbox Series X Games Event Showcase that aired at the end of July. I know this video is a little bit late, but I haven't really done any YouTube stuff lately, so I'm just gonna talk over this a little bit. First thing, I do like how the console looks. I've liked how the console looks since it's kind of been revealed. So I'm not going to talk too much about that. We already see it. We know what it looks like. We understand what it can do and the power of it. So I feel like I don't have to say anything more about that. Thank God. I am happy that they finally started to show off actual games and gameplay footage. People have been saying that it wasn't very impressive. I would have to disagree, and I'm going to explain why during me watching it. First thing I want to talk about here, though, is now I've only seen this press conference, I think, once in its entirety. I saw it, I kind of let it sink in and absorbed what I could from it. And yeah, so looking at this now, I really like the armor that the Master Chief has in Halo Infinite. I like how it's going back to what it should have been in all the other Halo games. Like, they didn't really need to re-engineer the entire thing for Halo 4 and Halo 5. They made it hyper detailed, but then took out the detail when you played multiplayer, so it was kind of lame. So I'm glad they went back to this. It's a very aesthetically pleasing looking suit. You don't have to change it. Just make it look nice. Just enhance the detail that it already has.
It all means nothing until you step inside.
I do like how the whole event started with the Halo reveal. That's smart. That's the way to do it. You know, people have been waiting for it for God knows how long. Starting right on the title screen of the demo is really cool. I know people seem to be underwhelmed by it, but I wasn't one of those people. Now, I might be the first one to say this. I don't think that character model for the character there is the same as the one from the original reveal. I feel like this one looks slightly less detailed. Just saying. Don't know how true that is, but from just the looks of it, he doesn't look like the same model.
No. No. You. I can't stand it. Who you are. Breathe. No. You don't get to tell me what to do. You don't get to tell me anything.
I do like the detail in the teeth. Those are probably the best looking, as weird as it is. It's the best looking teeth I've seen in a video game.
Oh, I'll be safe. Safe? I haven't been safe since I found you. I found you, remember? You were out there on your own, and you'd still be out there if it wasn't for me. I thought I was going home.
There won't be a home.
See, I'm wondering if this is the first mission, or if this is
Outgunned, outnumbered.
like something after the first mission. I feel like the first mission's gonna be like on a ship of some kind.
Working sleep space drive. And when you're done with this war, we'll get away from here. Far away.
Wait here.
Oh. Please. Let me see what I can find.
Cannons first. When I get back, we can look.
It's also weird that when it pans like that, you actually can't, like, you could tell it's lost frames, or if it's just like not 60 frames per second when the camera moves. I thought that was kind of weird. But I do like the minimalist HUD. Like, if you're looking at this compared to Halo 5, you felt very like claustrophobic when you were playing. Halo Infinite, it feels like you're more open, like you have more view. I don't know if it's because the field of view itself is greater, but that's what it seems like to me. Also wish they would allow you to adjust the field of view, like in PC games. That would be great. But this whole reveal of landing on the planet and him looking around and seeing, like just taking it in, that's really cool. I'm curious to see what this game's going to look like with ray tracing, because apparently people think this game's going to look entirely different with ray tracing, but having actually played games with ray tracing, it doesn't make an epic difference. But I do think in this particular case, it's the way the lighting is baked in. Ray tracing will definitely enhance the fidelity of the game overall. Like the way lighting works, if you look at the way it it's weird. So there is definitely some like global lighting, but things are also individually lit, which doesn't look particularly great. The other thing that doesn't look great is if you're watching as he's driving, there's a massive amount of pop-in. Like a ridiculous amount of pop-in. Also, I want to make sure. Yeah, it's at 1080-60. Just making sure. But yeah, this I mean, it looks good. Now, let me talk about the brutes, because everybody's like making fun of the brute. But even I have to admit, the brutes do not look good. Like, there's something about them not having any fur or hair that like irks me for some reason. Like, I want them to have like fur that's like conquer fur or something like that, just to make them look better, because they look so fucking flat. And that's not good. You never want to look at an enemy model and be like, wow, that enemy model has like no, I don't know, it has no impact to it. And that's how I feel about the brutes in this game. The music is so fucking good in Halo though. It's just so fucking good. This overlook of like where you can go is really, really fucking impressive. Now there is some stuff I want to talk about here, and I'm actually going to pause the video in a second. Like, a lot of this looks really, really good. Like, the particle effects look great. Everything looks really just clean, which is a good aesthetic to have, and it seems to work well with Halo. I definitely like the grunts. That gun is pretty dope. This kind of bugged me. So he takes like a huge plasma fucking like container and throws it, and it hits that turret, but it just knocks out the shields. Like, it does no damage to it. I found that to be really odd. Oh man, just got wrecked by that gun. So one of the things that bugs me is the shields of the elites, and I didn't notice it. Like, I noticed it, but when Digital Foundry, I'm gonna pause on this shield. The next, I don't actually, hold on. I'm gonna rewind real quick. I'm gonna pause when he hits the shield, because I subconsciously knew something was wrong, but they pointed it out perfectly. So he blasts these guys, he blasts these guys. Now, hold on. Let's rewind like a split second here. And watch when he, look at that elite shield, like up over here in the corner. It's like he's glowing, and I'm not a huge fan of that. I like the old Elite shields a lot better. This whole like the Elite just fucking glowing thing, it does not look good. It looks very, very lazy compared to what they used to do with the Elite shields. What they used to do looked a lot cooler. Just like a lot, it just looked overall a lot better. Let's get back to where we were. And then you get this whole monologue. I really hope they don't expect me to know what this is all about, because I did not play Halo Wars 2. I have it, but I never finished it.
We are one step ahead. Always. The ring is already under our control. Soon, the auditorium as well.
I did notice that his visor, when that scene was going on, you actually see the reflection. This is pretty cool.
To honor the will of Atriox. Without challenge, I grew weary, lost, alone. But here you now stand.
Like, there's something too
Is my last fight.
about this character model which bugs me. It's like his lips are out of focus, or the texture's just not like detailed enough. Same thing with his forehead. It doesn't look clean and crisp. It looks like it's blurry. Not a fan of that. Like, if you look at how detailed his teeth are, and then you look at the rest of his face looks blurry by comparison. And I don't understand why they would actively put that out there looking like that. That, like, really frustrates me.
We hope you enjoyed your first look at Halo Infinite's campaign. I'm incredibly proud of the team at 343, and we're thrilled to share a hint of the epic battles that await you on the next chapter of Master Chief's journey. This is the most ambitious campaign we've ever created at 343. For the first time, players will have the freedom to explore a mysterious new Halo ring that's several times larger than our last two Halo games.
It definitely looks good. Like,
Halo Infinite has been built from the ground up to take
that
full advantage
shield
of
does
Xbox
not look
exclusives.
good, though,
Bigger
at all.
battles, epic vistas, more complex visual effects, displayed with 10 times the processing power per pixel of Halo 5. This will be running at a flawless 60 frames per second and will allow us to bring the Halo ring to life in ways that have never been possible before. We look forward to sharing even more about Halo Infinite in the coming months, including the first look at multiplayer. And now, please enjoy a glimpse of what others in the Xbox Game Studios family have been working on.
Yeah, that was definitely a good thing to open up with. I just wish they would have cleaned it up a bit. Like, it was probably an old build, and I understand that, and they have months and months and months before it actually is released. They have like 4 months, I think, at the minimum. Well, maximum, I guess. Depending on, it depends on when the console launches, but like, because it's going to be a launch title, it's got to be. But yeah, that, I don't like how it seemed to be very unpolished. And this trailer is kind of pointless because none of it's actual gameplay. This is smoke and mirrors trailer shit. I'm not a fan of this. Please, Xbox, stop revealing games like this, especially because, so in case you don't know what we're watching, this is State of Decay 3. State of Decay 2 did not look that good. It didn't even look... It looked serviceable at its best. And State of Decay 1 looked kind of like trash. So showing this off is a fucking terrible idea, because now people will expect things to look like this. And you and I both know that's not what's going to actually happen. I mean, it's on Game Pass, so that's cool. Along with everything else on here, which is great since I have Game Pass. I paid like $200 for like 2 years of it or 3 years of it.
Welcome everyone to the Xbox Game Showcase. Today, we're showing games from 9 of our 15 Xbox game studios, including unveils of 5 new first-party games. What you will see today is how Xbox game studios are harnessing their passions to bring their dreams to life. We believe that how you find and play your games is as important as the device you play them on. Xbox Game Pass is the best way to discover and play, and we want you to be able to experience as many great games as possible. So Game Pass members, you can play every game you see today from your subscription or free to play. These games will look and play best on Xbox Series X, delivering unmatched fidelity, performance, precision, and immersion. And we've designed the most consistently powerful next-generation console. And we've built state-of-the-art platform technology to allow
I do like how he said that consistently. Like it's not gonna break down this time. That's what I heard. We made a console that's not gonna fucking break.
Sports and motorsport. And Xbox Series X is bringing them closer to their dream of unprecedented realism with ray tracing and native 4K resolution, all at 60 frames per second. The trailer you're about to see was captured completely in-engine.
All right, so I'm gonna just like turn this down a little bit so I can talk about something. So what they're saying is that a lot of games are gonna be running in 4K with ray tracing at 60 frames per second. Like that's what he made it sound like. Now, I have a computer that's probably roughly $1,500 to $1,700 to build, and I cannot run games at 4K with RTX on at 60 frames per second. So I'm really, really curious as to how both the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 are going to do this. PlayStation 5 seems to have some stuff going on with like decompression and the SSD. So they have some trickery going on. I'm wondering what Xbox is doing to actually get 4K 60 FPS and possibly even ray tracing on top of that. Also, Forza Motorsport is really fucking underrated. I hate when this event happened and people were like, oh, it's another Forza. No, Forza games look fucking amazing. They look better than Gran Turismo games, and they consistently put them out like almost every year. There's a Forza game. That's impressive.
Has a rhythm. We all sense it. But only a few
Finally.
really feel it.
Thank you, Microsoft, for giving Rare something good to do. Like,
It is found in the smallest.
I would love to play Sea of Thieves, but like it doesn't seem like there's anything to do in that game.
Of a perilous journey.
This is something I would play though, for sure. This looks
In the
awesome.
century of ritual.
And if this is how the game actually looks, I'll be very, very, very impressed.
In the bonds we share. And in moments of stillness. It teaches us to look beyond the expected. To be a light in dark places. To seek answers.
Like a lot of times games that have cel shaded graphics, like the character models are not very detailed and they rely heavily on the cel shading. This game seems to have very detailed character models and very good cel shading. Like if you pause any part of this and remove the cel shading, the character models seem to be on par with other games, which is very, very rare. Pun intended. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked for Everwild. Fucking love Rare. Everything that Rare does, I'm stoked about.
Everwild will give to you a magical and untamed natural world for you to explore and to just truly lose yourself in. It's a place to be eternal. And Eternal has the gift to sense and feel how magic flows through nature and connects every living thing. The team here at Rare are so excited to be working on something like Everwild.
Now, keep in mind,
Excited too, but I just want
from
to-
what we're told, they really haven't gotten any idea of what they're doing for gameplay. They're still kind of like working their way through it. With that being said, I have faith in Rare, and I hope whatever they put out is just as good as the game looks. Like, if it plays as good as it looks, I think we'll be happy.
I just got hit with a flood of memories. Love you, Mom.
I think this is the Don't Nod game, in which case I will play it. I just hope it's not like Life is Strange 2, because Life is Strange 2 is garbage.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's the Don't Nod game.
That they don't believe us.
We all believed that what happened that night was self-defense. But we couldn't be sure.
It doesn't matter that they kept us apart.
Brother, sister, we look
I
out for
like
each
whatever engine they use to make these games, because it's gotten so much better over time.
Impossible.
Like, it was a good engine in the original Life is Strange. Like, it did what it had to do.
It matters.
But it seems to be it seems to be so much better now than it was then. Like, this actually looks really impressive.
The way to move forward is to keep looking back.
We've been getting these visions whenever we see or hear something really emotional. Everything we thought we knew about Marianne just got thrown out the window.
She loved you.
She attacked you. We both saw it.
I thought coming here would be closing a chapter.
They do need to work on facial animations, though, because they are not good. They're very, very stiff. If they got better, like, mocap facial animations, I'd be happy.
We don't really have a choice about that.
There's always a choice, son.
I can't do this.
That's actually a game, chapter 1 available in August, huh? Damn. That's a game I'll actually play, definitely. I hope it's cross-save, so that way if I play it on 1X, and if the chapters keep coming out,
Hey everyone, my name is Gennady.
I could play it on the Series X too. That'd be cool.
Technology at Moon Studios. Today we're very excited to tell you that we're working on a very, very special version of Ori and the Will of the Wisps, specifically for Xbox Series X. We are now at a time where we can reach levels of fidelity and frame rates previously absolutely impossible on any console. An already gorgeous game like Ori.
120 FPS.
120 Hz refresh rate.
That's awesome, except for most TVs do not do that.
Delivering unprecedented game feel with silky smooth animation, super crisp, sharp image.
That is beautiful, though. Like,
Which is just so important.
a lot of people don't know how much of a difference it makes to run at 120 FPS. It's a huge difference.
By using premium audio tech that we previously just could not simulate in real time. And with all of this crazy hardware power, we can give our players more options with how they want to play our game. We can't wait for all of you to experience this very special version of Ori coming to Xbox Series X with smart delivery later this year.
That's pretty cool. I definitely like anything that can run at 120 FPS on console. It's smart.
From the furthest reaches of the universe comes the biggest mystery in the galaxy. An abandoned research facility, and now shady corporate intrigue.
Marvel are the Gorgon asteroid.
I just love this game. Like, I can't even complain that it's an add-on for it, because the game's so good.
Greetings, attractive patron. You are looking downright unlawful today.
With the right kind of case,
They wanted us to develop a miracle drug.
can put you on the wrong side of a gun. Or sword. Or this thing.
Ha!
Thrills. Danger. Intrigue.
A word of advice before you go, Captain? Trust no one.
Like, no part of this trailer looks bad.
You find on Gorgon.
It's Outer Worlds. This game's fucking amazing. Obsidian just like spat in fucking in Bethesda's face and did it so much better than Bethesda would have.
If you're waiting for the biggest game of the year, then wait for Cyberpunk. But if you're ready for the smallest, we've got you covered.
I really should. This is on Game Pass right now, so if you want to actually play it, you can. If you have Game Pass, I'm honestly tempted to try it.
That are nothing like this one.
Which is true. They don't make anything like this. 100% accurate.
This summer, strive together to thrive together. Or just feed your friend to the spiders and go solo.
Gotta admit, this actually looks pretty fun. Like, I would try this. And that's a giant battle toad. That was amazing. Grounded. Obsidian's just one of those studios that they just do everything so fucking well.
Come to the office, and we can't wait for you to play our next great adventure, Peril on Gorgon. It's the first of 2 planned story expansion packs for the Outer Worlds that we're putting together with our friends from the Private Division. Now, it's also important that we continue to evolve how we tell stories in games, and Grounded is the perfect example of that. The team has been working for the last 2 years on how to tell an Obsidian story within a survival game. Now, what's great is that you're going to be able to play the game on July 28th on Xbox Game Preview and on Steam Early Access. We want to hear from you, and we want to continue to build Grounded together.
At least it's on Steam Early Access versus fucking Epic Games Store.
Big Obsidian RPG. Check this out.
World premiere.
Now, this game, if this is the preview that I think it is, looks absolutely fucking incredible. It looks like they just like shit in Bethesda's Cheerios when it came to Skyrim. They're like, we're gonna do it better. And if they put this out and it looks half as good as the end of this trailer does, and they put it out before Elder Scrolls 6, it's gonna be, oh, they're gonna make so much money. They're gonna have a Scrooge McDuck money pit. It's gonna be incredible.
Now our oaths are lost, forsaken.
Right here. So this actually looks like it could be some sort of gameplay. I don't know if it's actually in-engine. I don't know what's going on here. But if it looks like this when it launches, they've got it. They've got it. They'll sell so many fucking copies of this game. Because it's been so long since then there's been a good first-person dungeon crawler like that.
Avowed is an expansive first-person RPG set in the fantasy world of Eora. When Obsidian Entertainment joined Xbox Game Studios, they told us that this epic game is the one they want to make. As creators of critically acclaimed RPGs, this is Obsidian at their best, and it is being built from the ground up to take full advantage of the power of Xbox Series X. At Xbox Game Studios, we also work with independent developers, always with the goal of empowering them to bring their ideas to life. I'm excited to announce our work with Interior Night, a new studio led by some of the most talented storytellers in our industry. Let's meet Caroline Marshall, studio head of Interior Night, to debut their original game.
Now, I have to admit, this game doesn't look like it would interest me at all, but the art design looks amazing.
Our team is really passionate about interactive storytelling because when you play a story, you step into the character's shoes. You get to experience their fears, their hopes, their conflicts firsthand. And in the process, you learn more about yourself. And this is quite powerful. Our first game spans 30 years in the American Southwest. It's a story about family, resilience, and sacrifice. But most of all, it's about how you will shape the fate of real, flawed people trying to find their way in a world they don't fit in. I hope you enjoyed the trailer.
I don't like talking over that because I feel like they're telling you more about the game than I could possibly tell you about the game for the most part. But again, I don't know if I would enjoy this game. It doesn't seem like a game I would enjoy, but the art style is really cool. Really, really cool.
For our family, it was just a stopover.
Like right here, this is where I got really impressed. It's a moving background.
It was the end of the road.
Looks like a watercolor painting, both moving objects. That's pretty cool.
That day. Was it fate? Coincidence? No. It was a long forgotten secret, buried in the dark.
All my life, I've been scared of the shadows. But now, I'm finally ready to step into the light.
Yeah, this is really, really cool looking. Also, I love the title, like the way that the fall slips down. I don't know why, that's just cool to me.
Here at Ninja Theory, we're
fucking Hellblade, yeah.
including Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, which we announced at the Game Awards back in December. An incredible 3.5 million players have now experienced Senua's story in Hellblade 7.
That is not enough. There should be more people playing that game. It's so fucking good.
An experience that we'll be building in Unreal Engine 5 for Xbox Series X and PC.
And
I'm happy to
if you
reveal
heard
today
that,
Senua's Saga
they
will be
said,
set in the beautiful
hold
country
on.
of Iceland.
They said Unreal Engine 5. So I was actually talking to somebody online, and they were saying that the demo that they showed was like impossible to achieve. Like there's no way that could have been in game. But using Unreal Engine 5, I feel like the assets shown are definitely achievable. Like, I don't see why they wouldn't be achievable using the new engine.
The impact that Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice has had on so many players, and we're incredibly thankful to all of the fans that have been part of Senua's story so far. And we're excited for you to be part of our development journey from here on out.
Yeah, everybody should go play fucking Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. That game was incredible. Good old Double Fine. I'm looking forward to this. This looks like it'll be cool.
What, Peter? Peter, he's
sitting there the whole time? Hey, who wrote the song?
Peter.
Oh, Peter. Fantastic work. Love the song.
I want to live there. Very much.
It's gonna be fun to sing it. Now it's time to rock. Shall we start rocking?
If you haven't played, the original Psychonauts, you're missing out. It's a really good platformer, like really, really, really good.
Mind Poppins. Where are we?
I feel like they're going to be able to do so many more things with this hardware than they were able to do on PlayStation 2 and Xbox.
Neither skin nor bone. Just a thought is all I've got. Now my cover's blown. At the bottom of a lake, a frozen feeling.
This is really cool. I'm actually enjoying this a lot. Fucking love Jack Black. Like, look at the art. Oh my god, it's so fucking good. I have a feeling this is something that's going to kind of be similar to Ratchet and Clank on the PlayStation 5. I mean, it doesn't look as highly polished as Ratchet and Clank does, but the platforming and the way it's going to play and kind of the art style that goes along with it are going to be very similar. It looks like it's just the old school gameplay with updated graphics. It's all it looks like to me. And I'm completely fine with that. The Fieldmobile! Sorry about that, yawn. I'm recording this super late at night. Okay, so, yeah, Psychonauts 2. In case you noticed, there's a change of scenery and venue. Not really scenery, but like time of day, I guess, in my webcam. Because, yeah, I was tired. My wife came home, so
the amazing games built by Xbox
let's
Game
continue.
Studios, and there is just so much more for you to play
Got
on
20
Xbox.
minutes left in this.
We are partnering with
And there's
thousands of creators,
not much
from the
craziness
largest
left.
publishers to the smallest independent developers, to bring you the broadest variety of games ever. There is one developer in particular that is close to us, not just geographically, but in history too. I'm thrilled to announce that this fall, our friends at Bungie will bring Destiny 2 to Xbox Series X and Xbox Game Pass.
This isn't really that
If you are
surprising,
one of the more than 10
because
million Game
Destiny
Pass
2 is super
subscribers,
popular
you
still.
also get access to all current Destiny 2 expansions starting this September. For Game Pass Ultimate members, Destiny 2 will also
But
be
I am kind
playable
of stoked
on
that I
mobile
get to play
from
this on
the
Game
cloud.
Pass, because Game Pass is
Later this
something I
year,
subscribe to,
Bungie will
and I've
also
never wanted to
release
buy
a
all
new
the
version of
expansion
Destiny
packs
2 that is
to
optimized for Xbox Series X.
Destiny 2.
4K resolution,
Even
running
though
at
the game
60
is
frames
really
per
cool and I
second.
really like Bungie, it's
Here's
just
an all-new
I never
look
wanted
at
to pay that
Bungie's
much money
Destiny 2 Beyond
for
Light.
something that didn't seem like a lot of content. But I mean, this game is actually really good looking. I was watching an IGN thing, and they were saying that it looks more impressive than Halo Infinite, and in some ways it does. It definitely is got that really clean look, but the presentation to it is really, really good. And at 4K 60 on the Series X, I think that'll make a huge difference, because I don't like playing games at 30 frames per second. I feel like this game should have been allowed to be played at 1080p, 60 frames on the Xbox One X, but it never was. Same thing with the PS4 Pro. I don't understand why that wasn't an option. Like, any modern PC can pretty much run this game at 60 frames per second or higher. So I don't understand why the current gen consoles, the high-end versions of the current gen consoles, couldn't do the same. I do like how Destiny 2 is actually, it seems like a good platform that they can keep updating.
You want, thanks to Xbox Game Pass. Some of the world's most inspired developers are working on games for Xbox Series X, and we're just honored to be able to collaborate with them.
For sure, it's pretty cool.
Xbox Series X will empower both new and experienced creators to bring the future of games to life.
I like how they keep showing the breakdown of the console. I don't know why, I just think that's... I think the console itself is a very unique look, and it doesn't look too... I guess the PS5 looks more like a Alienware computer than anything else. But nothing really looks like the Series X.
World premiere.
I guess some micro or ITX cases for PCs kind of look like the Series X, but even still. I can't remember what this is. Every time I see that Ferris wheel, all I can think of is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. The original, where you had that sniper mission, all gillied up. Oh, I know what this is. This is Stalker 2, I want to say. And I think Digital Foundry did an analysis on this and came to the conclusion that this is probably in-game footage, and if so, that's pretty impressive. Like, given the frame rate's not spectacular, but the fact that it's still in-game footage is really interesting, because it does look actually really clean. And for people that don't know, a lot of the team that worked on the original Stalker is actually on Metro now. They broke apart after the original game and did their own thing. So I'm intrigued to see what this game has to offer in comparison to Metro Exodus, which is probably one of my favorite games of the past few years. So much that I bought it twice. I bought it on the Xbox One X, and then I bought it again when I got a new PC because I wanted to see what it looked like with ray tracing and stuff. Notice how it only says Series X and Windows PC. That is not current gen, apparently, which I'm not surprised by that. Can't remember what this one is either. Oh, is this... I think this is Warhammer. I want to say it's Warhammer 40k. But... yeah, it reminds me of, reminds me kind of Left 4 Dead, or the, that little thing that Rainbow Six did for a bit, where you'd fight zombies or infected or whatever you want to call it, or aliens. I can't even remember at this point. There have been so many ones that have tried to copy Left 4 Dead but haven't done a great job. But for those of you who don't know, this is very similar to Vermintide and what Vermintide does. And if you haven't played Vermintide, you should play Vermintide because it's a really fun little series in the Warhammer universe. Again, only on Series X and PC.
World premiere.
Console launch exclusive. Now, I'm wondering if they mean like it's actually going to launch with the console, or if it's one of those like launch window things like they tend to do. I mean, I guess this could easily be an actual Xbox launch game. It's Tetris. But I did like this video a lot. I thought it was really, really cool. I like how some people actually look like they're playing games and other people just look like they're smashing on buttons. Apparently, is it Tetris Effect? I think it's Tetris Effect is a really, really, like, amazing game, and I never played it, and I love Tetris, which is really weird. So, I'll actually probably play this when it comes out. Especially if it's going to be part of the Game Pass. Interesting little thing. Yeah, Tetris Effect Connected. Holiday 2020. Well, it's coming out on Xbox One too, which is cool.
World premiere.
Again, I hope it actually launches with the console, because the more games, the better. Yeah, I've never played the SteamWorld games either. Mostly because that like 2D genre is so saturated that I've never gotten a chance to play a lot of the 2D, the interesting looking 2D games.
Hold on, let me check.
I like the art style of this. It's very, very vibrant, and the animation's cool. I just don't know what these games are about, which is again another reason why I never really jumped into them. But them being 3D is a huge selling point for me, because I really love 3D platform games. Especially ones with this kind of color palette and aesthetic. Like the bright Ratchet and Clank style games they're just so pretty to look at. And I like how they're actually showing real gameplay. That makes a huge difference. So you know the quality of game to expect. Like, I don't know if there's a plot to these games. I don't know if there's a story. I don't know. I should really just go back and play the SteamWorld games. Blooper team. What else did they do? They did something else. Oh, I know what they did. I think they did the Layers of Fear games, if I'm not mistaken. Is this that medium game?
With a dead girl. A forest. The moon. Scent of pines. And then the gunshot. Every story has two sides.
Yeah, this is that that game Medium, which just looks really fucking amazing. Did this say? I've got to look back and see if it said launch exclusive. If it did, that's a huge draw, because a game like this I'd really like to play. I always love that, like, almost Silent Hill style of game. And this seems to take it to another level where there's two worlds, but they're at the same time. And I'm curious as to how they're actually doing that and how it's going to affect performance. Like, how are they rendering two things at the exact same time? That's very, that's crazy. Like, I can't imagine this game running at a full 4K, even at 30 frames per second, if it has to render two worlds at the same time. And it obviously looks like in-game footage. Like, you can tell by the frame rate, and like there's some cutscenes in there, but it's definitely, it looks more gameplay than anything else. unless they're going out of their way to make it seem like gameplay when it's not, which is kind of messed up if they did that, but I don't think that's the case. The medium Xbox Series X.
World premiere.
Yeah, these look like all console launch exclusives, which is interesting. Ah, Phantasy Star Online 2. I've been trying to get into this game like for the past few months, because I love Phantasy Star Online. Like, anybody that knows me knows I played a lot of Phantasy Star Online when it first launched on the Dreamcast, like, what, 2 decades ago at this point. I really, really love PSO, and this game actually seems really cool. I just haven't gotten into it yet, and it really bums me out because I want to. It's just there's the systems and the way the systems are laid out is so complicated for no fucking reason that, like, even like equipping items is just a lot of work. Like, they're showing you right now, like, this is like the basic look of the game, but like when you're playing it, there are so many menus. It's ridiculous, and there's so many microtransactions, which is fine because it's free to play, so it makes sense. But I just gotta like hunker down at some point and actually get into this. Also, the UI in this game scales horribly bad when you're trying to play in like 4K or higher resolutions. Like, look at this. What part of this doesn't look like fun? Like, he's just like zooming around, shooting shit. I think the first couple hours, or even like 10 or so hours of the game, are just very heavy-handed. And it's hard to learn the mechanics. Maybe I should just start streaming this at some point, and somebody can give me some feedback of how I'm playing this game wrong. But I really want to get into it. I love Phantasy Star Online so much, and I feel like this series is just... It doesn't get enough recognition. I really wish they would just make another Phantasy Star game overall. That story was really cool.
I've seen your future.
This seems interesting because I love Remedy, and everything that Remedy does, it just screams quality. Like, if you look at like Alan Wake, even games that haven't done particularly well, like Quantum Break, they still look really good and they play really well. They also tend to push a lot of new technology. Like, they're one of the only companies that fully implemented ray tracing in their games and did other really unique stuff that was very forward looking. But this campaign kind of looks like it would rival Call of Duty. I'm really looking forward to the multiplayer because it's something that's looks closer to like a Counter-Strike-ish multiplayer, which I enjoy. I like those Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six style games for sure. Weird that it's not on PC, or it's not promoting the PC version.
We saw 10 world premieres and 22 console launch exclusives. Game Pass members can play every game you have seen today from Xbox Game Studios and all of
That's a really just excellent idea. Just to have Game Pass and have people use that, really subscribe to the service. I think that's what will bring people to Xbox this generation.
Yet to play will also be optimized for Xbox Series X. Games like Forza Horizon 4, Gears 5, and Sea of Thieves. You'll get the next-gen upgrades at no additional cost when they launch.
Also very smart. I love how they're doing that.
Over 100 titles for Xbox Series X this holiday season. With Series X and Game Pass, Xbox is the place to play, and you are at the center of everything we do. Now, you may have noticed we didn't get to visit all of our Xbox Game Studios today.
yeah,
That
there's
means
definitely
we'll
some
have more
missing.
to share later this year. But until then, here's one more thing.
This was a great way to close out the show. I just wish they would have showed actual gameplay. I think that's the one thing that bums me out.
The world is filled with stories.
Best thing that Microsoft did was keep this IP, although they did not utilize it in any of the last gen or current gen, which really is shitty. They should have definitely at least put out something.
Places where nature and magic live in perfect harmony. Not all stories have happy endings.
It also bums me out that there's no idea of what this game is going to be. Is it going to be an open world game? Is it going to be sectioned off like the originals? Is it just going to be like higher fidelity? Like, I want to know what Fable is going to be. I feel like hopefully next year they'll say something about it. They did show off, like, this presentation got shit on by a lot of outlets and a lot of YouTubers, and I think it was actually a really good overall presentation. PlayStation 4 definitely had like heavier hitters, for sure. Like having a Spider-Man game and having another Horizon game, and like those two alone were such good first-party titles. But I think this generation, Microsoft realizes that it has to have more. It has to have more everything. It has to have more studios. It has to have more just games on their platform that aren't anywhere else. And I think in like 3 years, like 3 years into the console, you're going to see a lot. Also, I gotta say, I was right about Halo Infinite being an open world game. Go back like almost a year and check out that video that I made saying that Halo Infinite was going to be a shared open world game. And I wasn't 100% right about the shared world, but I was definitely right about the open world. And I'm not sure how the co-op exactly is going to work, but just saying, I was right. Yeah, they definitely have a strong lineup of games coming to the Series X, and having them come from Game Pass is smart. It's very smart. All right, that was the end of the Xbox Game Showcase conference. Overall, like I said, I think it's great. I think they have a lot of good games coming out for the system. I'm not a fanboy by any means. Like anybody who watches me on any of the platforms I stream to or post videos on, I have everything. I have the Switch, I have the PS4, I have the Xbox One X. Like, I play everything. I want there to be healthy competition, and I feel like if Xbox is getting shit on continually, then Sony won't have any reason to keep putting out the content that it is when it comes to like first party games. So I want to see Xbox succeed just like I want to see Sony succeed, and I want to see Nintendo succeed. So hopefully this generation Microsoft gains some ground, because if they lose any more, we're going to be stuck with just Sony and Nintendo. And I think it's kind of like politics. You're going to have a two-party system, and it's not going to be good. It's not going to be pretty at all. But yeah, that's it. Those were my thoughts on the Xbox Game Showcase. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe. You can follow me on both YouTube. Well, subscribe to me on YouTube. Follow me on Twitch. All of my links for my social media are down below, and hope to see you guys again soon. Have a good one.